Hello, hello! Good evening. How are you guys? How are you doing? Ça va bien? I promised you 6. We're here. I see a couple of hundred of you in the stream. Very, very good. Please tell me where you're tuning in from. Let me know right now in the comments what beautiful city, what beautiful town, what beautiful country you are watching from. And you've already started in the comments before I asked. So very, very, very good. We have a lot to talk about Ukraine and so on. And, you know, I don't want to spoil it. We'll get to it in due time. And I think you'll find it quite... there we go. Here, the stream has exploded. Egypt, Amsterdam, Detroit, Washington, Bahrain, Illinois, the Kremlin basement, Australia, Quebec, Kenya, Sweden, California, Russia. That's illegal. Orlando, UK, a crater in Olenivka, Tampa, Florida, Maine, Toronto, Frankfurt, London, West Virginia, West Virginia, South Africa. That's wonderful. That's really beautiful. Once again, I'm going to prepare a little map, I suppose, and we can take off the countries of you know, where people are tuning in from. I feel like they're throttling the stream. Do you guys get the impression that they're throttling the stream? Because I asked several people if they got a notification. They said no. And I think it has something to do with the title and the tags and all the shit, right? Did you guys get a notification on YouTube? I know several people who did not get a notification. Dore says is tuning in from apartheid Israel. Oh, yep. Okay, here you guys are saying no notification, no notification. Darius is the only one who got one. The only person who got a notification is Darius. Congratulations. Yeah, yeah. And Tiga. And Ariel says, okay, so most of you are saying no. Most of you are saying no. The overwhelming majority are saying no, they didn't get a notification. As a matter of fact, let's just do a bloody poll. That the whole reason this thing is there. Hold on. Don't worry, I type fast. There you go. I forgot the question mark. It's okay though. We know it's a poll, so it's okay. You tell me right now in the poll did you get a notification on YouTube for the stream? So, let's just dive right in. And before I start, I'm just going to ask you guys to please hit the like button. I see we've got about 500 people watching, but only 250 likes. That means half of you have not hit the like button. Please make sure you do. It helps with the stream. It helps with the channel. It helps to fight what is happening right now. The fact that YouTube has not even notified people. Kiki, thank you for the super chat. Kiki says, Richie, I love you. Greetings from Staten Island, New York. Ah, shout out to Staten Island. Thank you very much, Kiki. You're very kind. So, okay, let me dive right into the topics, and break this down for you. So Ukraine has released this very democratic blacklist of journalists, professors, intellectuals, you name it. Okay, so this is a list that's comprised mostly of foreigners, right? So American journalists, there are Indians on it, you know, people that are mostly outside Ukraine who have said things that the Ukrainian government doesn't like. And I find this very funny because the whole time they're saying, "Oh, we have to fight for Ukraine. Ukraine is a democracy. We are defending the very democratic and European values, right? That form the foundation of our society." And then they just blacklist journalists. I'm serious. Here, let me show you what's up. Okay, so this is the actual list on the website. If you go translate it, if you translate the website, you'll get this result that says, Sorry, I'm just going to scroll to the top. It says speakers who promote narratives consonant with Russian propaganda. And they've basically put a list of people with their photographs and their names. And I've translated, I went to, Claudia and I went through the trouble of actually translating what they're guilty of, right? Because they've actually put the name and then said why this person is guilty of quote unquote Russian propaganda, what their crime is. So let's see. We have Mearsheimer, who is a very famous professor. His crime is saying that NATO has been in Ukraine since 2014 and that NATO provoked Putin. We also have Ray McGovern. Okay, so I've interviewed him. He used to work in the CIA. And he said that no one should unilaterally condemn Putin. We also have Richard Black, who was a senator, I think, in Virginia. He's a colonel in the former colonel in the army, right? But, he says Russia has freedom of speech, unlike the U.S. and the West, and he said that the U.S. enslaves Ukraine, and the supply of latest weapons will not help. Russia will win. So he said a bunch of things, right? He's very naughty. We see Caleb, who works for RT. They say RT correspondent. And he said that Russia's protecting Donbass. We also have Claire Daly, right? And if you keep going, we've got Scott Ritter, okay? So, of course, he's guilty of saying that there are NATO bases located on the territory of Ukraine, and so on and so on. We have Tulsi Gabbard, okay? So, again, I find this one funny. I don't necessarily agree with any of these people completely with all their views. But I just find this really funny that Tulsi Gabbard, who's been, what rank is she in the army now? She used to be major. I think she's lieutenant colonel now. I don't know. She's a very high-ranking officer in the National Guard. She's been in, I think, the House Intelligence Community, or the Armed Services Committee, excuse me. I mean, she's had background checks, like more background checks than most people on this list, and they still call her a Russian propagandist. What a bunch of rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Seriously. They also put a serving senator. They put Rand Paul. Rand Paul. They put him on here. And then we have Glenn Greenwald. They put Glenn. Oh, man. And what is Glenn guilty of according to this list? He talked about the biolabs, of course. We're not allowed to say that naughty word. And that the U.S. should not provoke Russia into nuclear war by helping Ukraine. I mean, this is just outright pathetic, this entire list. It's really pathetic. And it's so wild. Do you know they put Lula on this list? Lula da Silva, who is, I think just a few days ago, he's gone on the ballot, so he's going to be running for president in Brazil, right? He used to be the president of Brazil, and they, to prevent him from running, these corrupt judges, they put him in jail, and there's a whole story about that, which Glenn exposed. So the former president of Brazil is also apparently a Russian propagandist. What's the criteria for this list? Like, why don't they put Jeremy Corbyn on here as well? Where is the Pope? It's so random. It's so random and ridiculous. I want to show you. Some of the responses, right, from these people. So this is from Unheard, and here's one guy who got put on the list. Okay, so his name is Edward Lutwak, and he strongly rejects being labeled a Putin acolyte. So, quote, from the 24th of February, day one of the war, he has relentlessly argued that not just the US, UK, Norway, and others should send weapons to Ukraine, but also the reluctant trio, France, Germany, and Italy. He says, I have personally lobbied defense ministers of NATO countries to send more weapons as part of the war effort. I'm not exactly Putin's most faithful agent. That one, I mean, that's just mind-boggling. The guy's literally saying, attack, help, Ukraine to defend itself, send them weapons. And they still say he's a Russian propagandist. Wow. He said that, quote, again, this is, he said that, quote, it is a fantasy to believe that Russia can be squarely defeated. In Kiev, they have interpreted this stance as meaning I'm pro-Russia. So that's what he's guilty of. This stupid, simple comment. And here we have Mearsheimer, very famous, okay? He's particularly famous. He went viral a few months ago, I should say, because there's a video of him in 2015 or something, a few years ago, predicting that this would happen, right? He predicted this war. And this is what he had to say about being placed on this list, okay? He said that, quote, "When I was a young boy, my mother taught me that when others can't beat your arguments with facts and logic, they smear you. That is what is going on here." I couldn't agree more. I love that. I love that very much. He goes on to say that I argue that it is clear from the available evidence that Russia invaded Ukraine because the US and its European allies were determined to make Ukraine a Western bulwark on Russia's border, which Moscow saw as an existential threat. He said, Ukrainians of all persuasions reject my argument and instead blame Vladimir Putin, who is said to have been bent on conquering Ukraine and making it part of a greater Russia. But there's no evidence in the public record to support that claim, which creates real problems for both Kiev and the West. So how do they deal with me? The answer, of course, is to label me a Russian propagandist, which I am not. Here we have Glenn Greenwald, right? So, he said that war proponents in the West and other functionaries of Western security state agencies have used the same tactics for decades to demonize anyone questioning the foreign policy of the US and NATO. This is standard McCarthyite idiocy, right? This is something that I talk about a lot, that we are living in a third Red Scare, okay? Basically where anyone you don't like or anyone who questions the state, they're a Russian agent, they're a communist sympathizer, blah, 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 right? They're Russian propagandists, etc., etc. It's very McCarthyite, right? McCarthy was this congressperson in the 50s, and he had these famous, hearings where he would accuse people of being communists, and then he went too far. Started accusing people in the army and so on. But it's, that period of just, ruining people's lives, Hollywood actors and actresses' lives by accusing them of being Soviet sympathizers or Russian sympathizers. Yeah, it's very reminiscent of that, okay? And Glenn goes on to say that the Ukrainians have the absolute right to pursue whatever war policies they want. But when they start demanding that my country and my government use its resources to fuel their war effort, then I, along with all other Americans, have the absolute right to question that policy or to point out its dangers and risks. Fair enough. Absolutely. Right? And I have the same right as a British citizen, right, to question why the hell my government is supporting, this war effort and bringing us closer to nuclear war with Russia and ending the goddamn planet. And of course, doing other things, which I'll get to in a moment in the program. So Glenn goes on to say that I don't care at all about Ukraine's attempts to shut down debate in our country by smearing journalists and politicians who are questioning U.S. NATO policy as being Russian propagandists. That tactic is as inconsequential as it is cheap, tawdry, and discredited. What a grand finale. So, just to continue, Glenn also went on Fox, and he had this to say.
So, you're being blacklisted by the Ukrainian government, which is a beacon of democracy. Tell us how this works.
Yeah, I thought President Zelensky had a war to run. Apparently, he has a lot of time to watch the Morning Joe show on MSNBC, where they sit around for hours accusing everybody they want to discredit of being a Kremlin agent and teaching American liberals how to do the same. It's easy to mock, but it's actually quite outrageous, Tucker. The Ukrainians have a conflict with this neighboring country in Russia. They're totally free to pursue whatever war policies they want. They can fight Russia for the next 10 years if they choose, but that's not what they're doing. They're begging and, in a sense, demanding that other countries, including my own, the United States, provide them with a seemingly endless supply of weapons and money, which means we not only have the right but the obligation to debate that and ask whether that's in the interest of the American people to do. And so for Zelensky to essentially try and export the repression he's imposed in his own country here to the United States by shutting down debate and accusing those of us asking questions of being Kremlin agents or Russian propagandists takes incredible gall, while he's also demanding that we turn over all our money and weapons to him at the same time.
This is the guy George W. Bush described as the George Washington of our age. I haven't heard really anybody in Washington.
that was pretty good. That was very, very, very good. So, of course, you all know Glenn Greenwald. He broke the NSA story with Edward Snowden, and of course the car wash story in Brazil. Here's Tulsi Gabbard, who was also put on the list. And by the way, in addition to what I mentioned before, she was a congressperson for Hawaii. So again, you're in Congress, you're in the army, you're serving on House committees, you've been background checked a gazillion times, and then people still want to say, "Oh, Russian agent, Russian agent." Shut the hell up, man! Come on, she's you don't have to agree with her, but that's just logically it's irrational. This is what she had to say.
Someone the Ukrainian government says should be censored. She serves in the U.S. military. She served in the United States Congress. She ran for president. Now she's joining us, and we're happy that she is. Congressman, thank you so much for coming on. What's your reaction to finding yourself on this blacklist?
I see the hypocrisy, Tucker. The hypocrisy of this blacklist is, and frankly, why the American people should care about this is the Biden-Harris administration and the Washington elite from both parties are continuing to be willing to impoverish the American people and people around the world and push us closer and closer to nuclear war and Holocaust, all to protect democracy and defeat autocracy in Ukraine. And all of this is happening as the Ukrainian president is frankly exposing that there is no democracy in Ukraine. You mentioned a few examples of some of the things that he's doing in silencing any dissenting voices, imprisoning political opponents, banning all political activity from the 11 opposition parties, frankly, taking control of all national media under his unified information policy. And now he's turning his sights on Americans, not only.
That's very, very good that she mentioned that. That's very important. Remember, we covered that when it happened a few months ago. Very, very, very good that she talked about the opposition parties being shut down, the media being consolidated. Very democratic. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand in wartime, the government might employ national emergency laws to do and acquire equipment and certain things. That was, this has been going on for a while. They just used the opportunity to go even further.
Only myself and others you've mentioned, but a sitting U.S. senator. The danger of this, again, goes to the cost that our leaders are willing to exact as they continue this facade of a push for so-called democracy and defeat autocracy. The whole thing is so hypocritical, and we need to hold our leaders accountable for it.
Right. So, again, when I grew up, I saw, for me, Fox News was, they had like an American flag on the logo. It was like, we have to bomb Iraq. And so it's nice seeing a few minutes of sensible, rational talk. In any case, going back to the core of it, to this list, I mean, I don't even know I don't even know what the criteria for it is. It's so outlandish. It's so bizarre. Like, apparently, if you don't blindly praise Zelensky and hand over all your money so they can buy weapons, then you're clearly a Russian propagandist. I think this is very dangerous because, look, man, who gives a fuck about Russia? Seriously, this is about our governments. Our governments, right? Do you see how they love, the media love dissidents in Russia? They say, "Oh, look how brave those journalists in Russia are for challenging Putin, for challenging their government." And then when we do it, when we challenge our government in the UK, in the US, they call us Russian propagandists. What the fuck is wrong with you? What kind of logic is that? Who gives a crap about Russia? This is about our governments. What are we doing? I'm not Russian. You're not Russian. I'm not Ukrainian. You're not Ukrainian. What the hell are we doing there? Why are we sending money? Why are we sanctioning our own citizens? I'll get to that in a moment. Yeah. What the hell is going on? And just like shutting down, banning, censoring, demonetizing anybody who doesn't blindly go along with this bullshit. No, I'm sorry, man. You guys are in for a big surprise. You want to talk about democracy? You are the biggest hypocrites. These Western governments are the biggest hypocrites. They're lying to their own citizens constantly. They own this giant media machine to run to run public opinion and to consolidate it with government policy. It's not happening, man. It's not happening. We're going to challenge that. We're not going to let you get away with this. You're not going to just shut down anybody who disagrees with you by calling them a Russian this and Russian that. Go to hell. Shut your mouth. We will challenge our government. We will hold it accountable. Okay? You hypocrites. You love it when people do it in Russia, but when we do it in our country, you don't like it all of a sudden. Wow. And again, going back to this list, this is all part of this McCarthyite or McCarthyist mantra. You know, like we're gonna ruin your reputation. We're gonna call you a foreign spy, an enemy collaborator, etc., etc. It's so 1950s. Look, man, I got to be honest. I love the music of the 1950s. They had some nice cars, right? Drive-through cinema, burgers and fries. I love that. When we say bring back the 50s or whoever's saying that, we don't mean McCarthyism, all right? Bring back some of the music, yes, but not this crap, not this McCarthyite crap. No, thank you. Wow. I see we got 1,200 people watching, but only 500 likes. So guys, please make sure you've hit the like button. You know, ironically, this video, because of the title, this live stream, because of the title, because of the tags, they haven't given notifications out because I'm criticizing the war effort, because I'm criticizing this narrative. That's why they don't want us to talk about this blacklist. So please hit the like button. Please support the channel. It helps. We have to fight the algorithm. Most of you, I asked you in a poll, you didn't get any notifications, and that's the whole reason. And that's the whole point. Excuse me. And I'm going to move on to the next topic in a second. I just want to say thank you to Ina for the super chat, for the sticker. Thank you very much. So, speaking of this lunacy or insanity of just censoring everybody, let me show you something over here. Wow, this thing, you are not going to believe this. This just gets crazier. It just gets crazier, man. You're not going to believe this. My goodness. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start with this because it's so crazy, right? So while they're smearing people at home, like anybody who questions the war effort, okay, you're a Russian propagandist. Let me show you what is happening in Germany. Okay, there is a woman called Alina Lipp, and she's a journalist who's been in the Donbass. And do you know what her government did? She's a German citizen. They are suing her, and they froze her bank account and took her, also froze her father's bank account because she's reporting things that challenge the state narrative, of course, that Russia is bad and all this stuff. I'm not even kidding. I have the legal document. I don't even know where to begin. It's so crazy. I swear it's so crazy. So again, look, this is the maybe she can say it better than me, but I will break down the charges. This is so nuts. My God. So once again, this is Alina Lipp. She's a German citizen. She's an independent journalist reporting from Ukraine, from the Donbass. And because the German government, they don't like what she's saying, they took her money, they froze her father's bank account, and they are suing her now and saying that she is not enabling, but basically approving of war crimes. I kid you not. I will go through the legal document in a second just to show you how preposterous this is. But here's a video of her just running through this briefly.
My name is Alina Lipp. I'm an independent German journalist living in Donetsk. I'm living here for half a year now, telling Germans what is going on in the Donbass region and in Ukraine. And for that, the German authorities now started to persecute me. First they deleted my material in the internet, Then they blocked my bank account, blocked the bank account of my father. And yesterday I got this letter from German authorities that they opened now a criminal case against me. So
I'm just gobsmacked, and I never use that word. I am literally in awe. Let's go through this, okay? Let's go through the document, because I highlighted some things, and I wanted to show them to you because of how outrageous they are. Okay. Here we go. So this is the state, the chief prosecutor in Lüneburg, and here's the charge. Okay, so this is against Alina Lipp, born in 1993 in Hamburg, and they are charging her for basically, well, I wouldn't say rewarding. That's more of a literal translation, but basically approving state crimes. Okay. And they are saying that that the defendant, okay, has posted several things on social media supporting the Russian invasion on the 24th of February. Okay, and this attack against Ukraine, which is a crime of aggression and illegal in Germany. By the way, ironically, a crime of aggression when you invade another country in aggression, that's not a crime in the UK. That's how Tony Blair is a free man. And they're referencing that she is supporting something which is a crime in Germany. Okay, and they're saying this is the most crazy part. Do you know what they're accusing her of in yellow? Das psychische Klima auch innerhalb der Bevölkerung der Bundesrepublik Deutschlands aufzuhetzen. They're accusing her of basically trying to stir up, okay, and to stir up the psychological climate within Germany, to not just to change public opinion, but basically to rile people up in Germany. This is nuts. They're accusing her of trying to rile people up in Germany, and because her posts, they're at least distorting or basically her posts and her reporting, as they're calling it, they're not even referring to it as journalism. They say her representations are causing a rift within society, and they're going to dissolve social cohesion, right? And she is, this sounds, they're talking about her like she's the Hulk or something. This is literally what it says in the document. Okay? And in the second part here, in yellow, so gesellschaftlichen Zusammenhalt aufzulösen, that was to cause a rift within society. And then here, they say Zweifel an der Funktionsfähigkeit der öffentlichen Meinungsbildung und der Wahrhaftigkeit der medialen Berichterstattung innerhalb der... So they're saying basically that she's challenging the ability of opinion forming and media reporting in the country. So it's a really complicated way of saying you are challenging the establishment narrative, and we don't like that. I'm stunned. Like, you're supposed to do that as a journalist. You're supposed to challenge the media, especially the establishment media in the country. You are supposed to do that. And they're saying that she is causing a rift within society, and also causing basically building distrust in the media and their ability to form public opinion. Right? Remember, this is a German legal document, so I'm trying to translate it live for you and break it down simply. But that's really what it says in essence. And this is even crazier. Look what it says here. They say that she is particularly targeting Germany, okay? And she is particularly targeting Germany because her audience are German. What? Yeah, obviously she's going to target a German audience because she's German. She speaks German. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Look, I'm not kidding. This is exactly what it says here, right? right here. Okay, I'm not going to read the whole thing for you, but I'm telling you that is exactly what it says. Okay, and I'm just in shock. Maybe she should go and hire like some people in Austria or Switzerland who speak German to watch her YouTube videos, and then she won't be targeting a German audience anymore. Wow, this is both so childish and extremely egregious and concerning that a prosecutor, the state, is accusing her of these things. What the hell? What the hell, honestly? So, basically they're saying that she is expressing support for something that is a crime in Germany, right? Meaning invading a country. And that she's trying to cause a rift in society and dissolve social cohesion. And that basically she's challenging public opinion, the ability of truthful media and the things that form public opinion. It's a very complicated way of saying, the media, that she's challenging the media. Yeah, she's supposed to do that. She's supposed to challenge whatever is forming public opinion in Germany, meaning the government, meaning the media. Oh my God. I'm stunned. I'm stunned by this. And then here they cite two examples. They say that, remember, these are not the only posts, but these are just two examples, okay? They say that on 24th of February, the defendant posted on Telegram that that denazification has begun. Here, right? Die Denazifikation hat begonnen. That she posted that, and she published a video, okay, that people over there in the Donbass were basically celebrating the Russians and celebrating this liberation, okay? And that she said Ukrainians have been killing the ethnic Russians in that region for years, okay? And that this is going to come to an end now. You understood? So on 24th of February, she said the denazification has begun and people are celebrating. The Russians are coming. It's a liberation. And the Ukrainians have been killing the people here for years. That is what they are citing as an example. I mean, whether you agree with her or not, I'm still... Here's another example. Here's the second example that they put. They say on 12th of March, the defendant posted on Telegram a video where she says that there's a genocide that's been going on here. The Ukrainians have been committing genocide here for years, and that the Russian army. Let me. In German, they swap everything around. She posted a video on 12th of March saying that these areas where the Russian army have entered, the Ukrainians have been committing genocide here for years. So this speaks to the argument that, this war didn't start in 2022, it started in 2014. And that people in the Donbass, they've been shelled, they've been killed, and so on. So she's basically echoing that. And these are just two examples they're citing for their lawsuit against her, right? Well, I wouldn't call it a lawsuit. They're trying to put, she could go to prison for this. I think it's up to 3 years, but don't quote me on that. I'm just reading to you what's in the document. And they say that these posts show that she agrees and approves of Russia's crimes. When they say here Straftaten, so those, what they refer to in the top, meaning the invasion. And here's the second thing. Okay, this is very interesting now. They say, well, okay, she is a independent journalist, and she had a crowdfunding thing, a fundraiser. She asked people to send her money so she could do something, and they say that she raised 1,600 euros and used that money for her reporting to do war propaganda. There it says Kriegspropaganda. That's why they took the money. So they said this money that you raised was used to make war propaganda, and that's why if you go back to the top, you can see here that they're openly saying we took 1,608 euros from this bank account, from her bank account. Okay, so they took that money from her because they say it was used to make war propaganda. And then down here, this is also very bizarre. They say that they couldn't interview the defendant, Alina Lipp, because it would mess with the investigation. But in any case, I don't know what to say. You guys speak. I am goddamn stunned at this. They froze her bank account. They froze her father's bank account. They want to put her in prison, and they're saying that she approves of war crimes or crime of aggression committed by Russia, which is illegal in Germany, and all these sorts of things. And they want to put her in jail. So I don't know where she is right now. I again, please don't quote me on this. I heard that she's still in the Donbass. I heard that she's in France. But my point is, wherever she is, she obviously cannot go back to Germany right now, because I'm assuming that she might be arrested. She might have to be come into the police station for an interview. Who knows? But it's very dangerous for her, and they frozen her assets. So all in all, the German government has frozen the assets of an independent German journalist because she doesn't agree with the official narrative that, Putin is evil, Russia is evil, and Ukraine is the victim, etc., etc. Right? That's basically what they're saying. And to be honest, I think I should correct that, because this document is so childish and at the same time so concerning. They're not saying that really. They're saying that she is trying to tear apart the social fabric and cause unrest in society, in German society. And she's targeting Germany on purpose because her target audience are German. And that she is challenging the public, the institutions, the organs that form public opinion. Now remember, what I just told you is not a literal translation of the document, but I'm giving you the essence of what they are saying. So it's an idiomatic translation. I'm telling you, I'm just translating to you what this document says, what they are suing her for, and what they're prosecuting her with. And I mean, it's just stunning. It is stunning. This country that calls itself a democracy is saying that you should not challenge the official narrative. You shouldn't challenge the what we consider to be the correct institutions to form public opinion. She's just reporting, and they say that she's trying to tear apart the social fabric. What the hell is that? They haven't even said that about Putin. They haven't even said that about him. What the hell's going on here? She must be so powerful, man. I mean, if you read this document, you would think she's Superwoman. Wow, she can do all that? Incredible. I think it's sad. It's really sad. Germany, that you had the Nazis, you had the wall, and it looks like nothing's been learned, right? They are trying to throw people in jail and freeze their assets because they said something the government doesn't like. Because they don't like their reporting. Now, let me be very clear. I don't know Alina Lipp. I have not gone and read every single one of her Telegram posts. I don't know about her reporting. I am just, from reading the document, the legal document, which I just showed to you, this is outrageous. Whether it's against Alina Lipp or Alina Schmidt or whoever else. This is nuts. Do you understand? This is nuts. I cannot believe that a lawyer wrote this. What the hell is going on? No, not a lawyer. State prosecutor, right? There's this Staatsanwaltschaft Lüneburg. What the hell is going on? A government wrote this. The German government wrote this. Wow. And to make matters worse, I want to show you something else. Here's a British journalist. Okay, now keep in mind, just to be clear, the timeline. This whole affair with Alina Lipp is still ongoing, right? She got this letter, you can see here, on the 20th of May. Okay, on the 20th of May. And it's still ongoing. By the way, I just want to say one thing before I forget. Let's be very clear here. The German government is saying to Alina Lipp, you committed a crime because you expressed support for something that is illegal in Germany, which is, they're saying, the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. Okay, so hold on a second. If supporting an invasion is a crime in Germany, what about all the journalists that supported the invasion of Iraq? or I don't know, bombing Syria, any crime of aggression against other countries, are you also going to sue them? Do you think they're also going to get letters? Do you think their bank accounts are going to get frozen? Do you think their father's bank accounts are going to get frozen? No way. And you know why. Because when you're okay with the official narrative, they're not going to touch you. You're okay. You're a good little doggy. You get pats on the head. Oh, what a disgusting double standard. It's one thing to have such a drivel, absolute drivel, written by a fucking state prosecutor, but then on top of it, a double standard. They don't even harass and prosecute people equally, right? Oh man. I want to show you something else that is equally, or I don't, even more outrageous. You decide. This is from 3 days ago. Here's the headline from the BBC. Pro-Russian UK journalist put on sanctions list. Yeah. So this guy over here, Graham Phillips, he is a UK citizen. He's a British citizen. And the British government just sanctioned him. What? Yeah. That's real. So the article says a British journalist who has worked for Russian media has been officially sanctioned by the UK government. Graham Phillips, who's 43 and from Nottingham, has been criticized for pro-Putin coverage of the war in Ukraine. He was accused of war crimes after videoing captured Brighton Aidan Aslan and describing him as a quote-unquote mercenary rather than a prisoner of war. I find the wording here very interesting because they don't put pro-Putin coverage in quotation marks, but they put his word, they put mercenary in quotation marks. Anyway, officials said Mr. Phillips' assets have been frozen. That means they took his money away, right? When they say, we're going to freeze your assets, we're going to take your car, we're going to take your bank account, we're going to take your house, we're going to take every single fucking thing you own. Mr. Phillips' assets have been frozen as his media content helped, quote-unquote, destabilize Ukraine. Oh my God. Again, a superhero journalist. Where do they get these guys from? How is it that Graham Phillips and Alina Lipp are so powerful they can destabilize entire countries? Oh my God. Oh my God. There you go, Marvel. That's your next script for your superhero movie, right? These amazing pro-Putin journalists who can destabilize countries just by posting crap. Unbelievable. Wow. So they're saying that he was Mr. Phillips, while working for Russia Today, was arrested, was detained in 2014. So back in 2014, but then released by the Ukrainian authorities. The defense ministry said he had been, quote, filming facilities which are forbidden from being filmed. What does that mean? He's a spy? So they say he was seized by Russian forces during the battle for Mariupol in April. Right? He appeared handcuffed in a video posted on Mr. Phillips' YouTube channel. So they're saying, let me explain this to you. They're saying that this journalist, Graham Phillips, is a war criminal because he filmed a prisoner of war. Now let me break this down because I talked about this on the channel before. Yes, that is a war crime. Under the Geneva Convention, you cannot film prisoners of war. The thing is, though, I don't know anything about this Mr. Aslan, which he filmed while he was seized by Russian forces. Was the guy actually in a Ukrainian unit? Because if you go and join like the Foreign Legion, for example, or an international brigade under the umbrella of the Ukrainian the Ukrainian armed forces, then yeah, I suppose that would be a war crime. I don't know. The thing is, even if he did commit a war crime, okay, fair enough. You deal with that. Again, my question is, what about all the other people who committed war crimes? Let me tell you something. Do you know how many British soldiers have been convicted of war crimes? One. He beat an Iraqi man to death, Baha Musa. So they arrested him. And it's an entire group of soldiers, by the way, but only one of them took the rap, right? They beat him to death, And this guy, Donald Payne, he got 1 year in prison. He was released after 1 year for beating an Iraqi man to death. That's the only guy who's ever been convicted of war crimes. Right? And you think that's... And we know about the British SAS in Afghanistan, what they were doing also with the Australian SAS, executing Afghan boys. Yeah, that's okay. Whatever, man. You can commit as many war crimes as you like. But this journalist over here, he's dangerous stuff. He's destabilizing Ukraine. Man, shut the fuck up. Honestly, be quiet. Be quiet. I don't know this guy. And I probably, you don't have to agree with anything he says. But you're going to come here and tell me that you're going to sanction him? You're sanctioning one of your own citizens. If he committed a war crime, why don't you try him then? Why are you seizing his money? What is going on here? You know that there's a double standard, right? You know that there's a double standard. And the guy's a journalist also. When you commit a war crime, usually you're in uniform. I really don't know if the Geneva Convention applies to journalists. I really don't. I'm being serious. That's a good question. It's always rules for thee, but not for me. So let me be very clear. I don't know who Graham Phillips is, this guy that they're saying is a pro-Russia journalist. I don't know what he's done, if it's really a war crime. But if you are going to say that he should be tried for war crimes, then you need to try all the other guys, the top brass that invaded Iraq and Afghanistan for war crimes. Right? Fair is fair. And freeze their assets as well. But of course, that's never going to happen. You will never see Tony Blair and so on tried for war crimes because, ironically, the crime of aggression when you invade another country, the UK refused to ratify that, right, under the International Criminal Court. So basically, in England, if you are someone who has invaded another country, it's not a crime, and that's how Tony Blair got off, for invading Iraq. The High Court just threw the case out. Very convenient. Because he's in the club. Right? He was a prime minister. He played ball with the Americans. He's in the club. Right? He had a bromance with George Bush. Nothing. He's untouchable. But Mr. Phillips over here, he's dangerous. God. They're funny, really. They're funny. So I just wanted to give you a little taste of what's going on with this. Germany basically trying to destroy Alina Lipp's life, even her family's life, freezing her father's bank account. Can someone explain what her dad's bank account has anything to do with that? Like, even if she's the most pro-Russia journalist on earth. Yeah, okay, that's her. What about, why are you freezing her father's bank account? Punishment. They're being vindictive. That's why. Yeah? So Germany trying to put one of its own citizens in jail and freeze her assets because she went to Ukraine and reported things that they don't like. And the British government, freezing the assets of one of its own citizens. Wow. I got to be honest. I haven't heard that one yet. I'd never heard of the UK sanctioning one of its own citizens. And by the way, I looked on the website of the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. So for you Americans, this is the State Department. This is our State Department in the UK. And here's the latest sanction list. I downloaded the document, and yep, his name is in there. Graham Phillips. They sanctioned him. This journalist, right? So again, I think this is really disgusting. If they go in there, these journalists, and say something that their governments don't like, they will come down on them like a ton of bricks. And remember this, because right now they're telling you should support this war effort in Ukraine because Ukraine is a bastion of democracy. And they're saying it's bigger than Ukraine. It's not about Ukraine. You are defending European values. You're defending Western values. You're defending democratic values. Oh, really? Well, this don't seem too democratic to me. And if you're really democratic, you wouldn't be shutting up and silencing journalists that you don't like, or calling them Russian propagandists, or freezing their assets, or trying to put them in jail. All right? They're doing exactly the very things that they accuse Russia of doing. And hey, man, I'm not saying Russia's perfect either. Let's be very clear before you call me a Russian propagandist. Man, they're so funny. They're so funny. This is the 1950s, but with really bad music, and this is it. We're living in the 1950s. with all the McCarthyism, but no good music. What a shame. What a shame. Speaking of invasions, we should have a British invasion, a second one, right? That's a musical term. Anyway, that's astonishing, really, that the FCO sanctioned one of its own citizens. I've never heard that. And I'm not surprised, when Priti Patel, for example, our Home Secretary, is pushing this bill forward called the Nationality and Borders Bill, where the British government can strip its citizens of their citizenship and not even tell them. They can take away your citizenship without even telling you. They can just say, "Oh well, we had no means of contacting them. We tried, we called during a lunch break and just didn't pick up. So I'm sorry." And they can put in anything they like. We didn't know his phone number. Yeah, sure. They can put anything they like and just take your citizenship away. And of course, how do they sell it to you? They say, "Oh, but that guy's a terrorist. You really want him to be a British citizen? Come on. Oh, that guy's a human trafficker. You're not going to really defend him. This guy's a Putin propagandist. You're not going to defend him." And that's how it starts, right? And then bit by bit, you're next. You're on the menu. Man, these are dangerous times. I've often said to you, the war in Ukraine is not in Ukraine, because there's so many things happening internationally, and of course that's a bit of a larger topic. This whole shift towards a multipolar world, Iran, Russia, China, and everything is happening there. But this is another dimension of that, right? It's how European and Western countries at home, not in Ukraine, these countries at home, are exploiting and using the war in Ukraine as an opportunity to crush dissent, to silence dissent, to put labels on people's accounts, labels in real life, to seize their money, to take their family's money. That is what's happening. That's the war in Ukraine. It's at home, and it's against you. Fucking nuts, man. Nuts! These people are nuts. And when I say that, I'm like, are they really nuts? No, they're just evil. They're just bastards. So somebody who's nuts would not do this. They leave you alone. Now, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Wow. Guys, let me just drink something. I've got banana juice. We need a second British invasion. That was a good one, right? So for those of you who don't know, British invasion is when in the 1950s and the 1960s, the number one hits in the United States were from British bands, right? The Beatles, the Animals, the Who, the Rolling Stones, they were all coming over and snatching up the charts, right? That's what it meant. And my point was that, these are the same times during which you had the McCarthy years. Not exactly, obviously, but when McCarthy, the U.S. congressperson, he was holding these hearings, these witch hunts. They call them witch hunts because that's really what they were. You look at him the wrong way, you do something you didn't like, or whatever. They'll ruin your life, man. He'll come after you. Not everybody, of course. It wasn't millions of people, but it's nevertheless it's quite, it's rattling because it wasn't limited to just political opponents. This guy went after Hollywood actors and actresses, and he had the FBI. That's another issue. How he stopped and when he stopped. If I recall, and correct me if I'm wrong, when he started accusing top brass of people in the army of being, communists, of being Russian sympathizers, I think that's when people start, people finally went, what the fuck is wrong with you? No. You've gone too far and stop. And that's the problem, because back then, at least people said like, no, you got to stop. Right now, it's like open season, Again, Tulsi Gabbard, I'm citing her as an example because of this list that we just looked at. To my knowledge, she's somebody who's been in 14 years in the army. She was in Iraq. She's still in the army. She's a major or a lieutenant colonel. I have no clue. This is a very high-ranking officer. House committee, and she ran for president. She was congressperson for Hawaii. Jesus Christ. Do you know how many background checks they run on you? They know what color your shit is at that point. And look at Richard Black, I think his name was, right? The other guy who was on this blacklist of Ukraine, right? This guy was a senator for Virginia, a colonel in the army, and they're calling him a Russian propaganda. What is wrong with you? They're nuts. They're absolutely nuts. We are living in crazy times, man. In crazy times. Oh my God. I think I accidentally pressed the ads button. I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. We have to move on to the next topic. I want to move on to the next topic here. But first, I want to say thank you. Can you guys hear me? I pressed something by accident. The stupid dollar sign again. And I think it put an ad there. I'm sorry. It's new. This is something new that they added, and I click on it by accident. Give me a second. I just want to say thank you to everybody who's sent in a donation, and I see we've got 1,500 people watching. Right? You can hear me now. Great. But where are you guys tuning in from? Where are you watching? I asked you guys at the beginning, but we were only a couple of hundred. We've got 1,400 now. So tell me where you guys are watching, where you're tuning in from, and please hit the like button. Again, this relates to everything we're talking about. It's all connected, man. I was telling you they try to censor people, right? Because they're saying things that don't match to the official narrative. This video, this live stream, look at the title. The Ukraine Blacklist. Look at the thumbnail. Look at the tags. They don't like this stuff because we're challenging the official narrative, because we're exposing this McCarthyist bullshit. That's why no one on YouTube got a notification. All you guys told me that you didn't get one. So by hitting the like button, it really helps. Not asking much, guys. Come on. You know the drill. And let me see. Wow, look at that. Look at that. The chat has exploded. I asked where you guys are tuning in from. We've got UK, Serbia, Norway, Switzerland, Malaysia, Arizona, Hawaii, the Netherlands, Vienna, Russia, Oman, Ukraine, Sweden, Russia, Scotland, Brazil, Amsterdam, Canada, Russia, Portugal, Germany. Man, it's ridiculous. Wow. Denmark, Chicago, South Carolina, Vermont, Nepal, Kuwait, Indonesia. Man, this warms my heart. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you to all of you. Shout out to all of you guys and your countries and your beautiful countries. So let me talk about Ukraine and Syria. Okay? Do you guys know that they broke ties? Yeah? Do you guys know that they broke ties? The bromance is through. Let me show you. Let me show you what's going on. Here it is. Ukraine and Syria have officially broken up. So this is the headline from the Washington Post. Syria formally breaks diplomatic ties with Ukraine. That's July 20th. Okay. And let me kind of walk you through this whole thing, right? Because what happened initially is that you remember Putin, a few days before the invasion, or the special operation, or military operation as they call it, he recognized the breakaway republics, right? Donetsk and Luhansk, so DPR, LPR. And then, he answered their call for aid. And only two countries followed suit and recognized DPR and LPR. Syria and North Korea. Now, I think you all know why. Obviously, they want to please Russia. They want to be on the same side as Russia. They're drawing a clear line in the sand. And when that happened, look, this was this was on 29th of June, right? The headline from TASS, which is this Russian news agency. It says Syria makes the decision to recognize LPR and DPR. Okay? So, the foreign ministry, they had said, based on the common will and desire to improve relations in all areas, Syria has made a decision to recognize the independence and sovereignty of Lugansk and Donetsk. Okay? There you go. And so, what do you think happened next? What do you think happened next? Do you think Ukrainians are happy about that? Of course not. Of course not. So, literally the next day, June 30th, Ukraine cuts diplomatic ties with Syria. Now we are a month later, and a month afterwards, Syria reciprocates. So, Ukraine cut ties with Syria, Syria cut ties with Ukraine. I just want to say something, though, because the Syrians are saying that this goes back quite a while, actually, right? Before the war. Look what they're saying here. They're saying that Ukraine had in reality ruptured relations with Syria in 2018. So this goes back way before this war, right? When it refused to revalidate the residencies of Syrian diplomatic staff in Kiev, making it impossible for them to carry out their duties. Okay? It said that the Syrian embassy at that time suspended its duties as a result of the hostile attitudes of the Ukrainian government. Do you understand? So, basically, the people who work at the Syrian embassy in Ukraine, they were not given residency permits. So, they can't live anywhere, obviously, so they can't work there. So there really wasn't anything going on. And that's the problem, because many countries have cut ties with Syria because they're bastards. And you're going to see one by fucking one, they're going to come back like dogs. I'm really speaking like Shamina. They're going to come back crawling and begging for Syria to take them back. Right? I'm making it dramatic now, but seriously, a lot of countries are normalizing ties and reestablishing ties with Syria now. The Algerian foreign minister was in Syria just the other day. In any case, the point is that this goes back before the war. Okay. And what happened in the just now with Syria cutting ties and Ukraine cutting ties a month ago, it's really just a formality. And I think the recognition of LPR, DPR, that was, kind of the kicker. Right? So, yeah, they're saying that this announcement came as Syrian Foreign Minister Faisal Maqdad was in Tehran to meet with Iranian officials. We talked about this, right? I made a whole big video about this huge summit in Tehran where you had the president of Turkey, Erdogan, the Russian president, Putin, and you had, of course, President Raisi of Iran and leader Ali Khamenei. And they had a huge conference. Or summit rather, and then the next day the Syrian foreign minister went there and met with him. But in any case, I want to say something, man. I want to say something. I don't know why. I don't know why they wouldn't renew the residency permits in 2018. The Ukrainians. I don't know why. But right now, when it comes to LPR, DPR, Syria recognizing them, I don't know what to say, man. I understand the Ukrainians. I get it, because this is their internet, their territory internationally recognized, and then all of a sudden you have two chunks that Syria decides to consider not part of Ukraine. And yeah, the Ukrainians, I completely understand their position. I get it. I don't know why Syria did that. I think it was a bit of a rushed decision. But there may be reasons that I don't know. I don't understand. Okay? To me, this looks like the relationship already began to sour many years ago, and Syria recognizing LPR DPR was really just the final, the straw that broke the camel's back. I think that's really what's going on. I don't know what the hell happened in 2018. I'm trying to think back. A lot happened in 2018. I'm trying to think back what the hell happened here, but the reality of this is that Syria has always stuck with Russia, and Ukraine being Ukraine, especially since 2014. There's a soured, there's a bad blood between Ukraine and Russia. Unfortunately, it's very sad to see people who are brothers side by side. It's heartbreaking, It's like if you would see a war between Lebanon and Syria. No, this is so bad. In any case, I don't know why Syria and Ukraine broke ties, why the relationship soured, and I'm speaking irrespective of everything else. The only thing that I'll say is I hope to see diplomatic ties resume between Syria and Ukraine soon, and we need more diplomacy and less war. Let's be very frank. We need more diplomacy and less war. And I'm not saying diplomacy is like a perfect solution. It's very tough. It's very hard, but anything is better than that. Conflict. So let's hope they resume ties soon. Let me just quickly jump over to the next topic. I think you guys are gonna like this one. I think you guys are gonna like this one. Let me just drink some more banana juice, okay? Come on, show some respect, guys. Again, if you've just tuned in, please tell me where you're joining from in the comments. And I hope everything will be okay. Just one moment, I have to type something important. The banana juice has to wait. All right, very good, very important. Okay. It's the way it is, man. Okay. Excuse me. Let's proceed to the next topic, shall we? And again, many of you have sent a lot of super chats. I'm sorry I haven't read them yet. I'll read them in a moment. Because you guys have been waiting. I'll be like going off and powered up, and you guys are sending the super chats. I don't even see them, man. Hey, oh, this is lovely. Joanna says, good morning from Los Angeles. Good morning to you too. She says, thank you for all your hard work, Richie. Your work is invaluable. You're most kind and most welcome, and I appreciate you tuning in, because I told you guys last stream, I said the next stream is on Saturday at 6 p.m. And if you're in Los Angeles, set an alarm. It looks like Joanna and others did, so I appreciate that. That's great. We have another super chat from Sweeney. Thank you very much. Talentless Hipster says thumbs up to Claudia. TNT says, thanks for your endless efforts, Richard. Thank you, TNT. And we have some nice stickers from Ina and Dark Dragunov. Actually, those are crabs. Mehdi says, it is the Washington, D.C. establishment being run through the U.S. State Department. Zelensky is just the middleman. Oh, of course. Of course, Zelensky he's not calling any shots, man. Come on, grow up. Not you. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. But like most people think that the list, for example, that list that was published, I can assure you there is at least one spook, CIA spook, who saw that thing first, or some guy at the State Department. So, when they let me explain something to you guys. When we talk about embassies and State Departments, it's a nice way of saying spies. Okay. Any embassy, any country in the world, guaranteed half the people working there are spies. Yeah, it's like that. That's how it is. Anyway, whatever. I appreciate the support. Thank you for the super chat. And again, if you guys like my work, please consider joining on Patreon. I don't know how many we are right now. I think it's something ridiculous. We're 924 or something. We're trying to get to the goal. We're almost there, so please consider joining. I'd really appreciate it. You can just donate $1 a month or €1 a month, anything you like. It doesn't matter. And I really want to play Crab Dance. We didn't get to play one last time, so this is encourageable. Come on, guys. What are you doing out here? Yeah, let me put the Patreon screen on. So it's basically Yeah, you see this thing, $5, $2. These are just examples. You can put anything you like. And, I don't do premium stuff and whatever. You're not going to unlock anything if you donate monthly. Everything I do is free because I believe that's how it should be. Everybody should be able to access it. And if you like, then please support the show. It lets me continue to do this. Hopefully it's not, hopefully for a long time. Not the easiest or best time to be doing this right now, given the climate. It's most appreciated. So thank you guys very much. And if you want, if you can donate on PayPal and Venmo, you can just scan the QR code. So I really appreciate that. By the way, some of you, when you donate on PayPal on CashApp, you can send a question or a note, right? Or YouTube, you can also send a question or a note. Don't hesitate. In any case, I really don't like plugging the show, man. I'm here to talk politics. That's my job. And just donate, dude. All right, support the show. It's like the worst plug in the history of plugs. Okay, who's ready for the next segment? Who's ready, baby? Guess what we are going to talk about. Guess what we're going to talk about. It starts with top. It starts with top. Can anybody guess? Now I have orange juice. See him? We've got all the fruits, man. Entire fruit bar. In Syria and Damascus, those are real fruit bars. That's a proper fruit bar. Hey, thank you very much for the donation. NRJ says, Papi, I missed you, brother. And Lana sent a super chat as well. Thank you, Lana. Yeah, you many of you got it. Very good, very good. You guessed it. So, let's talk about Top Gun. Let's talk about Maverick over here. And the military entertainment complex, right? We usually talk about the military industrial complex, how that basically these companies that build weapons and bombs, they control the government because they need war to make money. And a spin on that is the military entertainment complex. So this is a very big subject, and it's a subject I love, and we're going to dive deep into it now because the big film of the year, the biggest film so far has been Top Gun 2, right? And Tom Cruise, he's back as Maverick. And I want to talk a little bit about how important the relationship is between Hollywood and the Pentagon and the Department of Defense. They have a very, very tight relationship. Oh boy, they're bros since day one. I really mean that. They've been doing this together, for 100 years. But what really, really solidified the relationship is Top Gun. Not the one that came out this year. I'm talking about the one from, 1986? The first one. This one over here, where Tom Cruise is very young, right? And he's over here with Kelly, okay? And they look just absolutely smashing. That's the point, man. They're supposed to look good. The movies are cool. They're supposed to be cool. That's how they recruit people. They have to be cool. They have to look good. The movies have to be okay. Now, I'm not really saying Top Gun is like, the best plot in the world or something, but it's flashy. It's attractive. It makes you want to go be a fighter pilot, join the Navy. Well, guess what? It ain't happening. But I want to read you from an article from the Los Angeles Times from 1986, and I want to blow your mind a little bit. I love this so much because it shows you the effect of propaganda. Because let me tell you something, brother. When you go and watch Top Gun, you're watching U.S. state-funded propaganda. You know how they talk about, this guy over there, he's Iran state-funded, media-affiliated, blah, 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 blah. And then they're going to say, this guy, he's Russian Putin puppet, Russian doll, whatever this label. Guess what? The Americans, they also produce propaganda. The British also produce propaganda. Oh, yeah. Wake up, smartass. And they do it better, unfortunately. And they spend more money on it. So when Top Gun was released, the first one, it boosted recruitment in the military. Oh, yeah. here's this article from Los Angeles Times, okay? So, when the film opened in May, this is Navy recruiters, okay? Recruiters in some cities manned tables outside movie houses during Top Gun premieres to answer questions from would-be flyboys emerging with a newfound need for speed from an F-14 warplane. Do you understand what he's saying? They put tables outside the cinema, outside the movie theater, when Top Gun was playing, waiting for people to come and recruit them, right? So they'd have maybe big Navy logo. They're not, remember, they're not allowed to legally, the Navy are not allowed to legally promote the movie. They don't have to. They just sit outside and in uniform with the logo, the Navy, and a picture of a jet. And you got a boy or a man or whoever, coming out of the movie theater. He just saw Top Gun. He just saw Tom Cruise in an F-14, and he sees Navy over there. He might think twice about joining, right? And I meant it in a good way, right? Yeah, this is real. They actually did this. I mean, come on. It's just so ballsy, honestly. It's so comical. It's comical, really. Truly comical. Navy recruiting officials say they didn't keep track of that operation's success. Yeah, right. But they have noticed more inquiries than usual about the Naval Aviation Officer Candidate Program since the movie's release. Do you understand? More people started calling up. More people started walking over to the Navy recruiter saying, hey, how can I join? I want to fly that plane. Yeah. And you bet their ass they kept track of they kept track of that. Remember, the Navy are not stupid, man. And I want to just clear something up very briefly, because some of you might be confused, because we're talking about planes, and then you're hearing Navy. Yeah, that's the thing, man. In this particular case with the Top Gun school, they're a unit within the Navy, and they work off of aircraft carriers, right? Aircraft carriers. That's why we're talking about Navy, okay? So they're saying here that there seems to have been a big rush in those categories that I have to attribute to the movie. I've asked several of these individuals if they've seen the movie and if that's why they came down to talk to us again, and they've said yes. That these words are from a recruiter, okay? These are recruiters telling the Los Angeles Times that more people started coming because of Top Gun. Yeah. And he said, quote, on the other end of the spectrum, we've seen a general increase in interest in young men who don't yet qualify for the program. And I have to attribute that to Top Gun. So this is very important, because guys who are a little bit older are thinking again about actually going and joining the military. And then, younger boys who are not yet 18 or whatever the age is to join the Top Gun Academy, they're very, you can influence them a lot, right? And the movie's having a great effect. So let me go back to this article. This is from the Washington Post, okay? And I want to show you some other ways that they collaborate together, right? But just let's be clear with each other. When you see Top Gun 1 or Top Gun 2, it doesn't make a difference. Those movies are propaganda for the U.S. military. And you can like them. There's nothing wrong with liking them, as long as you know what it is, right? Some guy from Serbia told me that they have a saying, or had a saying there, and I've heard this from multiple people from Eastern Europe or Russia. They had a saying that, quote, when we watched television, we knew that the news is not real, or that the government is lying to us, blah blah blah. But in the United States, they watch the news and believe it. Like that's the difference, right? So here's some other examples. You want to see some other examples? Wow. I mean, let me blow your mind. This is the list on Wikipedia. Air Force One. I'm going to zoom in. Air Force One, Apollo 13, Armageddon, Black Hawk Down. That one was whoa. They worked really closely on that one. Iron Man, yeah. All those movies that you're seeing, those lovely superhero movies. The James Bond series, of course. Indiana Jones, King Kong, Star Trek, Transformers, of course. Michael Bay, Of course. And I want to make something clear. When we say they're working together, it doesn't mean, oh, they're putting tables outside the Transformers thing to recruit people to become Transformers. No, the relationship is so close, you will not believe. People who are making a movie in Hollywood need money. You're a producer. You need to pay for all of this equipment, all of these people. And you want to write a film where you have helicopters and you have jets or whatever it is, or just scenes that take place aboard a ship. Do you know how much it costs to pay for that stuff, even if you can find it? If you can find it. You don't have that money. So what do? You go to the military, you go to the the Department of Defense, you go to the Pentagon, and you say, hey, can you guys lend me a couple of those Hueys, maybe a couple of Blackhawks? I need an Abrams tank. You got any F-14s? How about some troops running around? They'll give you that. But you know what the Pentagon get in exchange? They get to write the script. Oh, yeah. You're not writing that script alone. So you have someone from the U.S. military editing your movie script. I mean, that's just incredible. And they did that with Top Gun, by the way, huh? They did that with Top Gun. Oh, yeah. I wanted to show you. Hold on, where was that line? Yeah. Take a look at this. So, in 1986, Top Gun, when they made the first Top Gun, the Pentagon worked hand in hand with the filmmakers, reportedly charging Paramount Pictures just $1.8 million. That's it. That's it. That's a lot of money, man. But in movie terms, just $1.8 million for the use of its warplanes and aircraft carriers. Wow. But that taxpayer subsidized discount, that came at a price. The filmmakers were required to submit their script to Pentagon brass for meticulous line edits aimed at casting the military in the most positive light. One example, Time magazine reported that Goose's death was changed from a mid-air collision to an ejection scene because, quote, the Navy complained that too many pilots were crashing. That's lovely. I mean, that's lovely. As if it would have made any difference. Seriously. Now, although they continue in the article, they say that although Top Gun was not the first movie to exchange creative input, I love that, creative input for Pentagon assistance and resources, its success, it was so successful, that bargain became the standard for other filmmakers who began deluging the Pentagon with requests for collaboration. By the time the 1991 Persian Gulf War began, Phil Stroop, the Pentagon's liaison to the movie industry, told The Hollywood Reporter that he'd seen a 70% increase in the number of requests from filmmakers for assistance, effectively changing the way Hollywood works. So they worked together on The Hunt for Red October, yes. And here, look at this line. Time magazine reported in 1986 that without such billion-dollar props, producers have to spend an inordinate amount of time and money searching for substitutes, and therefore might not be able to make the movie at all. See, that's the exact point that I was trying to tell you earlier. Okay, and Robert Anderson, who is the Navy's Hollywood point person, told PBS in 2006 that, quote, if you want full cooperation from the Navy, we have a considerable amount of power because it's our ships. It's our cooperation. And until script is in a form that we can approve, then the production does not go forward. So they're really just, laying it out for you. They're laying it out very, very simply. Right? And they're naming a couple of movies here: Armageddon, Pearl Harbor, Battle Los Angeles, X-Men. Right? But you think most people who go to the cinema to watch these movies know that? Do you think most Americans, or most people in general, outside the U.S., because remember, these movies are so good, there's so much money being thrown at them, let's put it that way. They're distributed worldwide. They're American films. It's Hollywood. It's Hollywood. Do you think people all over the world watching these movies know that the Pentagon wrote the script? Or let's say had creative input. I love how they put these things. The Americans, they really have a way with English, right? They really have a way of diluting bullshit. I fucking love it. Because if this was Iran or China, they would say, they would say, for example, they would have censored the script or something like that, right? They would have final say on the script. But because it's the United States, it's creative input. It's a bunch of artists getting together in Soho and drinking coffee lattes, and you're discussing the script. Yeah, all right, sure. So obviously, I don't need to tell you that some movies, especially the anti-war movies, they don't get a lot of support, right? If you go watch Platoon by Oliver Stone, which is an anti-war movie with, the cast is ridiculous. You got Willem Dafoe, you have Charlie Sheen, you have Johnny Depp, right? And you have Forrest Whitaker. That is an anti-war film. And you think that he got a lot of support? You think those Hueys were lent to him? No. Hurt Locker, someone mentioned, I think, these films don't get a lot of support at all. I want to say one thing, though, please, before I forget. I want to say one thing to their credit. This Top Gun that just came out, I saw it. And honestly, look, man, I'm really into movies. It wasn't that good. It's something I would watch once and that's it. But I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just going to tell you one thing, and this blew my mind. They're actually flying the planes. That is actually Tom Cruise flying the fucking plane. All of them, all of the actors are flying the planes. That blew my mind. Apparently, this is what happened. Let me show you. I'm not going to play it because I'm afraid of the copyright, but this is what happened. Tom Cruise, he went, they were begging him for a sequel, of course, because right now nobody can write a fucking script apparently in Hollywood. So they have reboots. There's Batman 45, Spider-Man 63. They make 100 fucking Marvel movies of garbage. Yeah, and so they reboot, right? They reboot. I assure you, Top Gun 3 is coming. And because they're begging him for to come back and play Maverick in the movie, he told them that I'm not coming back to do Top Gun 2 unless I'm flying the plane. Because in the first movie, even though it was so successful, the way they filmed it, there was somebody else flying the plane, an actual pilot, and they were in the back. I don't know how the hell they modified it, but that's the thing. And and they actually flew the planes this time. I didn't know that. Did you guys know that? That's pretty crazy. That is pretty nuts. Anyway, my position on all of this is that it's okay to enjoy the movie, whatever the movie is, as long as you know what you're watching. You should know what you're watching. At least acknowledge, be conscious that this is it's funded, or sorry, it's edited by the Pentagon, right? They had a hand in writing the script. It's propaganda. Be aware of that at the very least. Yeah. In any case, I think there was some more things on the list. Some more movies, but this extends to video games, by the way, right? So when we're talking about the military entertainment complex, what do you think Call of Duty is? Well, it's a pile of crap today. I know that, but I still remember when Call of Duty 1 came out, Call of Duty 2, right? Call of Duty 3. But it's propaganda. Yeah, you should know that. It's absolute propaganda. It's I don't know what the relationship is like with the video games. But it definitely is there. No question about it. No question about it. I'm not going to delve into video games right now, but you could say at the very least that they are happily promoting them. Hold on, give me a second. I wanted to show you something here. Where was this damn thing? Yeah, this is just. This is from The Guardian, okay? And they wrote this 7 years ago, and they talk about Call of Duty, gaming's role in the military entertainment complex. Brilliant. Brilliant. You see what I'm saying? So 6 months after Dave Anthony left his job as a writer and producer on the video game series Call of Duty, he received an unexpected phone call from Washington, D.C. That week, the caller, Steve Grinman, who's a former Pentagon official, had been watching his son play Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Quote, Grinman told me that he'd been struck by the realism and authenticity in the game, and in particular, the story. So struck by it, in fact, that he'd been compelled to track me down. Okay? So the game, which has been played by more than 20 million people since its release in 2012, is split between two settings. The final years of the Cold War in the late 1980s and an imagined second Cold... Yeah, I know, I played it. In the latter scenario, the conflict is defined... Okay, I'm not going to read through this whole garbage, but basically, this is the important part. He invited the writer to visit the Capitol and join a panel of experts who were due to discuss the future of real-world modern warfare. Now, what do you think happened in the end with this guy? Because when you have someone like that who used to be in the Pentagon bringing you to Washington, D.C. and showing you around and bringing you to a panel, they're trying to recruit you, right? I'm not saying necessarily it's a spy, but they're trying to recruit you. They're trying to please you. They're trying to woo you, right? That's what it is. They're giving you the nice treatment, okay? And so this guy left, and he went to work for the U.S. government, the Call of Duty writer. Yeah. So I think that pretty much sums it up. All right. I think that pretty much sums it up. Sorry, I'm just trying to read the last sentences in this article. They say, while there's currently no public evidence that the U.S. military helps to fund mainstream video games that double as propaganda, as routinely happens in Hollywood, the makers of military-themed games often pay a license fee to gun manufacturers to use representations of their weapons, drawing consumers unwittingly into the military entertainment complex. Of course, you know, when you go play Call of Duty and say, oh, that's the Deagle, and this is the USP-45, and that's the... Well, if you're going to play Call of Duty 2, you're going to have the World War II weapons, right? Oh, that's a Lee Enfield 303, that's an M1 Garand, blah, blah, blah. They pay, like they said, they pay them a license. Wow. In any case, let's leave it at that. And yeah, so again, this Dave, this Dave Anthony guy, like I said, he ended up going to the Pentagon and becoming some kind of advisor or whatever. So thank you guys very much. I see we've got a lot of people in here. Thank you, Tish, for the very, very kind donation. Tish says $50 billion plus production in Ukraine. Not to mention mainstream media, paychecks, and new military contracts. Oh yeah, man. I can tell you something, man. This whole, I don't know what to say, pro-war, anti-Russia, whatever. The bullshit that's coming out of the media, that's its own entertainment, quote unquote. It's obviously very sick and disturbing. They're brainwashing people, man. I don't like to throw that word around, but it feels like it sometimes, right? It certainly feels like it. We have a big problem of ignorance in the West, and that's not people's fault. It's the fault of the media. It's the fault of the governments, because they want people not to know. That's why they shut down the people they don't agree with and censor them, because they can't, that's wrong thing. You're not allowed to educate people. You're not allowed to show people. Shh, be quiet. We know the truth. Blah 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 blah. The government knows best. Blah 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 blah. That's my that's my lovely little G-Man chant. Oh boy. Speaking of entertainment, God, I saw that thing with Zelensky in Vogue, but I don't feel like going through it, man. It's so bad. Thank you very much for the donation, Paul. Paul sent something on PayPal. It says, "Thank you, Richie, for your work. You're most welcome. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your donation. Thank you again, Tish. Let me see if I missed anybody else, because again, I'm going off on my thing, and yeah." So we got another donation. This is from Jay Rillo. Jay Rillo says, "Did you watch Top Gun 2? If not Russia, what other could it have been that they bombed at the climax of the movie? By the way, they used a Star Wars plot." Okay. Yeah, I watched Top Gun 2, and the thing is, they don't say what country they're fighting against. I think it's the same in the first one, right? They say bandit, boogeyman, they have all these cartoonish 1950s terms. And they said in the movie, I'm spoiling it now, I'm sorry to you guys, but I mean, I read the question, I'm answering question, so Jay Rillo spoiled it. That country in the movie is not Russia. It's not Russia. It's either Iran or North Korea already has the thing. I think it's Iran, because Russia already has nukes. So does North Korea. I think it's Iran. The thing is, they would never do that. That would be nuts. That would be nuts. That's you're starting a war with Iran. At that point, forget about it. The nuke's already there. But again, they didn't say that it was Iran. I got the impression that it was. You see a lot of snow. Well, again, could very well be. Let me just yeah, I wanted to just answer your other part, the about the Star Wars. I know what you're talking about. I'm not a Star Wars fan, but I've seen it, and I know what thing you're talking about, like this really crazy narrow navigation. Again, the difference is Tom Cruise was actually flying the plane, and I gotta say respect, but at the same time, like, remember what you're watching. It's propaganda. He knows it. We know it. Whatever. Just look at it as something maybe enjoyable or whatever. You want to have a night out and go to the movies, but just remember what you're watching and who helped produce it. Right? Always keep that in mind. Always keep that in mind, because the way that I view this is that they're basically telling people that it's okay for the U.S. to bomb a country that's looking for nukes, right? And like as if the United States is the world police, right? What? Like, hold on a second. Why doesn't Tanzania get to do that? Why isn't it Tanzania that gets to go fucking bomb a country making nukes? Who gave you the right? Why not China? Right? It's this whole, like, oh yeah, we are the world police. We are going to do this. We are the ones that are tasked with this valiant mission. It's so tough. Only our pilots can do it. It's so narrow. You got to be, you can't miss. There's only one shot. We will do this. We are the good crusaders, right? That's such bullshit. And the second thing I wanted to say is that in the future, God forbid, there's actually some kind of, war between the US and Iran. This kind of shit is gonna, it helps to condition people, right? Like, hey man, you shouldn't have been developing nukes. We had to come in and get you. Like, Iran or not, Iran or otherwise, it doesn't matter which country. In the end, this helps to condition people that it's okay for the U.S. to be the world policeman, and it's okay for the U.S. to go and bomb another country that's looking for nukes, because only the U.S. is allowed to have nukes. Always remember, the only country that has ever used nuclear weapons is the United States, and they used them on civilians. Never forget that. And I would add to that, because the response is, but the United States had to do it to end the war. Bullshit. Don't take my word for it. Go and read the fucking admirals, the guys who are actually running the war in the Pacific. At that time, look at what they wrote. They all said there was no need for that. There was no need for the nukes. The Japs it was over for them. Those are their own words. Don't they know what's happening better than you and I? They're the admirals. They're running the whole show. Come on, man. Don't stop. Don't swallow this propaganda, this justification. And by the way, Japan did some devious fucking shit in World War II. In Europe and in the West, we tend to think of, World War II started in 1939. It didn't for the Chinese, man. The Japanese were going already in 1937. In 1937, and the rape of Nanking, oh my god. I mean, the prisoner of war camps, the Burma Railway, so much shit that we could talk about another time. I actually don't want to talk about it. First of all, because it's disgusting and so horrific. And Unit 731, oh my god. Really just regardless, none of that allows excuses 2 nukes on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. No, just doesn't. I'm sorry. So in any case, I don't know what we went from Top Gun to Hiroshima, but it is related because again, it's about nuclear and so on, nuclear weapons and so on. So anyway, guys, again, I don't like to plug this show, but I have to do it so I can keep talking about politics. Please consider supporting the show if you like my work. I don't do any premium deluxe content bullshit. Everything I do is free. If you are able to, and if you would like to, then please consider donating. You can send a question if you want on PayPal or Cash App or just a comment, and I will gladly answer you. And if you want, you can donate monthly on Patreon. I'm still waiting for someone to join, man, because we haven't played a crab dance in ages. In ages, man. Come on. We need someone to go on Patreon so we can hit the goal. And again, it's you can donate $1 a month, $2 or whatever you want, anything you like. Again, most people, they do like premium stuff, like, if you go on my Patreon and you pay this much, you'll get that, and that much you'll get this. No, it's all free. If you want to pay, good. If you don't, that's also okay. So again, I'm just gonna put the links. Actually, Claudia has been very kind. She's dropping the links in the chat. So thank you guys very much for all your support. I really appreciate you coming in. By the way, where did you guys get the notification? Because I'm still trying to figure out how you found the stream. I think YouTube really censored this one, and it sucks. But, we got to try. We got to keep doing the thing. Talentless Hipster says, you know the thing. Yeah, Joe Biden said that, the famous Joe Biden. Hey, we got 2 people who have just joined on Patreon. Awesome. Thank you very much to Nilima, and thank you very much to the Day B. I'm gonna play crab dance for you guys. Yes, let's go. Awesome, man. Yalla.
Clap for that, you stupid bastard. And Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys.
Listen, fuckhead, you have fucking crossed the line. Claiming I'm the enemy. You got that, you goddamn son of a bitch?
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch.
Good morning. Sunday morning.
Cut that bitch off.
Thank you for Iron Dome, which is a technical marvel.
والله انت كلاب بصراحة يعني. ماشي نشتغل عادي.
We lied, we cheated, we stole.
China.
And you ain't black.
There's always the macro and then there's the micro.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
You talking to me?
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'll have 2 number 9s. The number 9 large.
we got him.
I told myself, I know it's not.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Why you texting? Why? You're getting nervous, man. Calm down. It's okay.
Suck my dick and choke on it. I yield my time. Fuck you.
All right. Here we are. I snuck off to get some orange juice. All right, guys. There we go. A crab dance. That's lovely. That's so good. We also got Jamie, who's just joined on Patreon. We're going to have to pay. Oh, we've got two people who joined. Jack and Jamie. So thank you guys very much. We've just gone up 4 members already. That's fucking amazing. I got to play another crab dance. That's just the way it is. Thank you guys very much.
Clap for that, you stupid bastard. And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys.
Listen, fuckhead, you have fucking crossed the line. Claiming I'm the enemy. You got that, you goddamn son of a bitch?
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch.
Good morning. Sunday morning.
Cut that bitch out.
Thank you for Iron Dome, which is a technical marvel.
والله انتوا كلاب بصراحة يعني. ماشي نشتغل عادي.
We lied, we cheated, we stole.
China.
And you ain't black.
There's always the macro, and then there's the micro.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
You talking to me?
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'll have 2 number 9s. The number 9 large.
we got him.
I told myself, I know it's not.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
Why you texting? Why? You're getting nervous, man. Calm down. It's okay.
Suck my dick and choke on it. I yield my time. Fuck you.
I love you guys. Thank you so much. Seriously, thank you very, very much for supporting the show. That way I can continue to do what I'm doing. And you're supporting independent journalism. And we're going to grow instead of this bastard nonsense narrative that you get from the international press. I want to add just one thing. Because while the crab dance was playing, for some reason I tuned out. And I started thinking about, you know, when I was saying like all the crap that the Japanese did during World War II and so on. Yeah, never forget the British, you know, what Churchill did, the famine. There's so much crap that they don't tell you about, right? So don't forget, these are empires who were fighting each other over resources at the end of the day. And yes, it's good they defeated the Nazis. That had to be done. But don't think that the Americans and the British and the French are perfect. You know, there's a lot of nasty shit they don't teach you in school. A lot. And of course, one more thing, you know, because we didn't talk about the Russians. The Russians they did a lot of heavy lifting, right? I think 80%. So that's, I mean, the overwhelming majority of German casualties, that's the Russians who did that. 80%. I mean, that's astronomical. That is goddamn astronomical. Right? And the Russians also suffered the most. So like 27 million dead. That is nuts. That is unbelievable. 27 million dead. Anyway, excuse my thank you very much, Robert, for your generous. Well, Robert was already on Patreon. He just increased the monthly donation. I appreciate that very much. I'll play Crab Dance for you in just a second. I just want to say thank you also to the super chats that I missed. Give me a moment. This is from Rob. Sent a bunch of crabs. Thank you, Rob. And it's always great to see you. I love seeing your name on the screen pop up. Thank you. ANG 2099. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. And the Dave B says, I love my new Uncle Joe's Rainbow Coalition Death Cult shirt. I really appreciate the work that you do. Thank you. You're most welcome. And thank you for reminding me to plug the merch, because this for those of you who are not aware of what this is, well, you're gonna have a good laugh in a second. You know, I was just thinking about Joe Biden's administration. Like, they're basically the same gang, right? They have the same sanctions. They're still stealing oil. They're just killing people. They're doing the same shit as Bush, the same shit as Trump, the same shit as Obama. It's just a continuation, but it's diverse, right? So you have, you know, a black man running the Pentagon. You have a woman running the Treasury. You have a female vice president, etc., etc. So my idea was to call them Uncle Joe's Rainbow Coalition Death Cult. I went to the wrong transition, damn it. That crab dance was a mistake. But here's the Uncle Joe's Rainbow Coalition Death Cult. And you said you got the t-shirt, right? I've got the t-shirt with the long sleeves. That's I actually, when we first launched this, when I first came up with the idea, and Mona, she put it to you know, she brought it to life. You bastards sold out the hoodies. I wanted a hoodie and I couldn't buy one because you bought them all. Anyway, I'm glad Dave B got one. And hold on, here's the link. It's Richard Medhurst. Okay, I'll give you the link. It ends with woke imperialism. That's what it is. Woke imperialism. So there you go. Talentless Hipster says, when I called my boomer dad ignorant, he threw a spanner at me. Yes, the boomer dad. Well, I'm sorry. That really sucks. You can come hang out here with us, and everything will be fine. Oh, shit. Macarius said, Top Gun 3, The Ghost of Kiev. That's brilliant. That is amazing. Right? You guys remember the Ghost of Kiev? This fake bullshit fighter pilot story that they came out with at the start of the war. Like, oh my god, there's this Ukrainian fighter pilot. He comes out of nowhere and he's downed 50 gazillion Russian jets. Complete rubbish. So that's gonna be Top Gun 3. See? We're on the same vibe. I love it. That's my favorite super chat. My favorite comment of the night. No question. Thank you. Oh man. They're crazy. They're absolutely crazy. They're nuts. They've lost the plot. All of them, the media, everybody, man. Just know says, I heard that Aslan and friends got executed 4 days ago. A famous Serbian sniper fighting for DPR said that. Hold on a second, man. I'm not aware of this story, and you'll have to forgive me because I need to do my due diligence and read up on it. So, let me get back to you on that. There's a couple of things you guys mentioned last time as well that you'd like me to cover. I'm gonna leave them for next time. And I appreciate you bringing me up to date. Just one moment. I'm trying to copy paste this so I can come back to it. Thank you, Just Know. Excuse me. And thank you to everybody who signed up on Patreon. You guys are very kind. Thank you to everybody who commented. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, please share the video. Just posting the video. You're doing a lot. This is my job. And in this quote unquote fight, if you want to call it, I just view it as we're trying to progress, right? We're trying to move forward and make progress. and you know, just even sharing a video helps. You might think it doesn't. It does, because if one of you does it, and then another does it, and another does it, it's one by one that we get there, right? And continue supporting independent media. It doesn't have to be me, right? But just let's all move away together, away from that corporate bullshit, please. Right? That's the whole point. So, and this pro-NATO motherfuckers. You know what really annoys me? That they came in and destroyed Libya and Syria and Yugoslavia, and then they say, oh, we're defensive. Fuck you. Seriously. Fuck you, NATO defensive. I'm getting really angry now. I'm going to stop. So... thank you guys for tuning in. I need to stop myself. I'm getting really pissed off, man. No, thank you for tuning in. And when are we going to be live next? Tuesday at 6 p.m. Same time. All right. So get your phone out. Don't worry, I'll wait. Get your phone out. Make an appointment, an alarm, a reminder. I don't care what it is. And write that down. Okay, Tuesday at 6 p.m. CEST. Okay, so that's like, if you're in Paris, 6 p.m. If you're in Egypt, it's 6 p.m. If you're in New York, it's noon. If you're in LA, 9 a.m. Wake up early, bitch. No, I love you guys. I love you so much. And just put an alarm, a reminder, and we'll see each other then. So, we're gonna cover a bunch of topics, a whole bunch of topics as usual. And I'm very grateful for you guys tuning in. The good part of let me tell you something. The good part about that is that you don't need to get a notification. You know that I'm going to be live. So you just come here and you're going to see me, okay? You're going to see me again pouring my heart out about these evildoers, these evil people. These evil people. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Tuesday, 6 p.m. CEST, 9 a.m. in LA, in the West Coast, noon, East Coast. And if you're in the UK, that's 5 p.m., right? 1 hour earlier. Paramjit says Toronto, 12 p.m. Correct. It's just like in LA. Jazz is asking, what time is that in Chicago? In Chicago, that would be 11 a.m. Okay? I think 11 a.m., right? Yeah, it should be 11 a.m. You're 7 hours behind me. All right. See you guys then. Take care. Thank you very much. Support the show. We have another sticker from Miss Anderson. Thank you, Miss Anderson, for the Mrs. Anderson for the sticker. I appreciate that. We have a very big donation from Riza. Thank you, Riza. They said, appreciate your hard work, Richard. Keep up the good work, and thank you, Claudia. Yes, big up to Claudia, and big up to you, Riza. I really appreciate it. See you guys on Tuesday. Take care. Ma'asalame. Bye-bye.
I am once again asking for your financial support.
A is for
all men and women created by you know the thing.
B is for
I'm beginning to see why your wife left you.
C is for
Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys.
D is for
Don't worry, I'm so serious. Children, I love to hear them.
E is for
An excuse to walk by the dealer and say, no, I'm not going to be a mule. I got something to do. I got to go do boom, boom, boom.
F is for
Time friend, and she's a friend. She's been my friend in and out of public life.
G is for
Go to Joe 30330.
H is for
hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down.
I is for
I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate.
J is for
Just look at the record.
I have President Biden, Vice President Biden.
Well, I tell you what, if you look at my record and you still doubt about my commitment, then you should vote for somebody else.
K is for
Kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
L is for
The lion, dog, face, pony soldier.
M is for
Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone. Make sure the kids hear work.
N is for
NATO.
O is for
The only African-American woman that's ever been elected to the United States Senate.
P is for
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
R is for
Rest her soul, and although she's your mom's still alive.
S is for
Send a text to the word united.
T is for
Truth over facts.
U is for
Union workers, the UAW took incredible cuts in their future.
V is for
Don't vote for somebody else.
All right, thanks so much.
W is for
Wait, you're getting nervous, man. Just calm down. It's okay.
X is for
Xi Jinping.
Y is for
And you ain't black.
I am once again asking for your financial support.
A is for
All men and women created by you know the thing.
B is for
I'm beginning to see why your wife left you.
C is for
Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran